What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review. Today, doing another VOD review from America's Regionals and VOD reviewing the player who probably had the single most stressful Regionals run of anybody. This is Phoenix. Phoenix made it to Tier 1 at the end of Day 3 on Regionals in the last possible slot, the 16th spot of people making it to regionals. So he was stressing. And it's funny because if you look at his scores at the start of day 1, they look really good. 3, 4, 8, 3, 3, 1. He was kind of chilling. And then this happened. He went 8, 8, 7 to start off day 2. And so he had to lock in. He had to lock in really hard, and this was the start of his lock-in, where he just started popping off and did well enough that he actually made it back into Tier 1, which is absolutely crazy. I'm going to sell off, make 10 gold here, have the Teemo 2 to start with, which is nice, and it's a prismatic start. So kind of a crazy start to the game already, but we have this Teemo 2 with AP items, and that's the idea. So obviously, Deadlier Blades kind of out the window. At what cost? Not a great augment in general. Combat Story does have some potential here. Does, I feel like, play more into AD than AP in general, and so he is going to look at the level up here. I think level up a quite solid augment in general, especially in this spot when we know, one, that we have an upgraded unit, so there's actually some decent chance that we can put together a good board, and 2, we are happy to play for more, like fast 8, fast 9 style game plan because we already have these AP items and an AP item holder, so it makes a lot of sense in our spot here. Very reasonable to just play fast 9 in general. So that is Phoenix's game plan here, and you're gonna see it's not the normal fast 9 that you would think of. I think this is a really creative game from Phoenix in a spot where a lot of people would just play very cookie cutter, play this exact thing, which is, I feel like, what this weekend was all about. I feel like the more that I watch these really fantastic players play, the more that I was just struck by, man, TFT is a good game. Like the players who are constantly reevaluating their spots, making good decisions, are getting rewarded for it. The players who are, just playing cookie cutter TFT and saying, "Oh no, I low rolled," are getting punished for it. Which is, I mean, that's TFT at its best, I would say. So we do pick up Shepard here on this board. We actually managed to squeak by a 2-win streak, which is just kind of crazy here. And then he's going to make the call to add the Darkstar Vanguard to this board with the Mordekaiser and Leona. Pretty nice board that we end up getting to fit here. And so also considering even slamming stuff like the Archangels is just going to slam the rod and says, okay, you know what? We're level 5 versus Ego's level 4. We should be fine here in order to pick up this fight. So yeah, I mean, this is actually a really nice 3 streak for Phoenix to start the game. Also note that we're an Ari Evelyn portal, so this further makes the level up make sense, right? The level up really likes when you have a god that can fuel that gold that you need to push levels, and he's even going to take the Ari max interest one over the Evelyn one, which is a little crazy, but it makes sense. I mean, we're already sitting here at 20 gold. We're going to reach 30 gold this turn, so yeah, we're pretty quickly getting there to the amount of gold where this is actually going to be valuable. And obviously the death cap, a fantastic item whenever you are playing into AP. It's just the best. It's just a ton of AP. The funny thing is, Cool Guy Dom, I don't know if we do rotate into him. Yeah, we immediately rotate into him. Oh, no, okay, this was someone else. But yeah, Cool Guy Dom somehow naturals an Ornn 2 with 3 items, which is just insanity. So we'll keep an eye on Cool Guy Dom for the rest of the game. We do rotate into Ripple Overdrive, actually, who similarly has kind of a crazy setup, has that Jinx setup with triple items. So we're going to take a loss there. Not the end of the world, but it's a little bit awkward. We'd love to keep our streak, but the big thing is that we're making gold, right? We're making 40 gold here, playing a relatively cheap board. Our front line is pretty cheap, but we really managed to get away with murder winning those first 3 fights. But that's what happens in prismatic lobbies a lot of the time. If you guys haven't played a lot of prismatic lobbies recently, it's weird. Like, a lot of times the people who are taking things like Forged in Strength or other lost streak augments will allow you to just kind of win for free. And it's so strange because you think, oh, prismatic augment lobby, this should be like stronger than other lobbies, but oftentimes it ends up weaker, which is kind of crazy, but it definitely happens. So yeah, we're gonna make it to 50 gold pretty easily here. Would love to hold stuff like this Leon and Pantheon. Gonna hope to get a little bit of gold here, and we do, so we can. And even the pike as well is a good hold here. Looking at our next few items, I mean, we have JG, which seems like a pretty obvious AP slam here. So I imagine that's going to be what comes down here. We are going to sit at 60 gold. Remember the Ari that we can make extra gold, but we are going to opt to just level up here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think this makes sense, right? It's you lose 1 gold to level here and you gain a lot of value. I'm kind of surprised. Oh yeah, we do hold the Victor here. I mean, because Victor would be a great next in on this board. Psionic and Conduit for Conduit, obviously the mana gen for the entire board, and then Psionic for an extra item would be fantastic here. Question, I guess, is when do you want to level? Because you could go for something like an aggro 3-2 level, but, you know, then you'd lose a lot of your interest here. Next augment here, Glass Cannon, Magic Roll, Cosmic Restart. I think I certainly would be looking at Magic Roll here and just said, you know, if it hits me gold, that's great. If it hits me items, that's great. You know, that's life here. Cosmic Restart is a very high rated augment, but we're thinking about Fast 9. I would not be thinking about Cosmic Restart in this spot just because it's a little awkward for Fast 9. But Phoenix, he knows that he needs to play first. He's going to risk it for the biscuit here, grab the Cosmic Restart, and we hit a pretty nice shop right off out of the gate here. We hit the Asol plus the Thomas Kench here. We are going to roll a little bit on 6, actually, not even pushing to 7 because we want to be able to make as much gold as possible in this spot here. And we do get Psionic plus the Stargazer here. Kind of surprised, actually, he Psionicked the Asol because now we can't throw the Psionic item onto Asol, but not the end of the world. We, you know, can just throw it onto a frontliner, and at least we have the Asol. That's the big thing, and we can still make 60. This is why we opted to roll on 6 instead of pushing level 7, is because we wanted to roll and still be able to make as much gold as possible, make that max 6 interest, and just put ourselves into a spot where we can push level 7 really quickly. And yeah, okay, he does end up fixing this here, gets the target lock down onto the Asol. Target lock actually not going to be amazing on Asol because he's very single target. Low-key would almost make sense to mech the Asol so that you could get more target lock value, but either way, he's going to be a pretty good conduit that can just sit on this board, farm some units, and every fight that we win is really, really good. Fighting Deepay here is fantastic before Deepay cashes out his Forged in Strength. Deepay, by the way, gets a crazy Forged in Strength this game. You know, the one that just gives more gold has to be the pickup here. Yeah, 12 gold. It's kind of awkward to... Wow, he's actually really considering the EXP here. The EXP is not great in this spot, but he actually considers it pretty hard here. Asol seems amazing, I would think. Oh, I didn't see this. He actually runs out of time here and then gets the Victor. Wow. I mean, the Victor's not bad. It means that you can make Void Staff, but that's actually a wild... I did not realize that he actually ran out of time there and didn't get to pick up the Asol in time. I still would have picked up the Asol, but obviously the Victor gives you Void Staff and it gives you a Victor to play towards, so it's not bad by any means, but I'm really surprised actually that he even just runs out of time there. It's just a very difficult decision. I mean, I love stuff like this when it happens because it just shows nerves. It just shows nerves and like how even at this top level of play, even a player like this who's now going to be in tier 1 can make mistakes, right? Nobody plays a perfect game of TFT when they're playing. Like everybody is always making tiny little mistakes that they can improve on. So fun to see that out of Phoenix here, and we are going to continue to chill here. What I was saying about the gold is really nice because with level up, that gold's going to go even further. The downside is you wouldn't actually mind, you know, leveling a little bit early on one of these rounds and spiking your board even harder, and, you know, maybe even rolling for something to play, especially in this situation where you have the free rolls, especially if we had, you know, we still have Thomas Kench pair and now Asol pair, so there's really good odds for us to, you know, roll on and find just a small upgrade on the way to 9, but we will see here. We do get the Psionic 4 in here, and now we can just double Psionic the Victor in the spot here. This is something you've seen people do a lot more, is they'll just, when you have 4 Psionic, you can just put them both on the same unit, and feels pretty good in a spot like this where Victor can make use of both the items since they've balanced them a bit better. It doesn't, you know, feel bad to put double Psionic on a unit like this. And yeah, we are in the spot here. We need to make another item here. We're still lacking Heal Cut here, so we'll see where that goes for now here. Looking at the Reforge actually on one of the emblems, gets Arbiter emblem, which is not great. Yeah, it was really like, what is Stargazer gonna do in my spot here? Also, for some reason, sells the 8. I don't know, it's almost like he's thinking we can make 70 gold, but we cannot here. All right, last augment in this spot here. So our board's getting there. We're 45 HP, though. We do need to level either soon or stabilize the board soon because, you know, this board is not going to stabilize us on 45 HP. If we don't roll soon, we are going to take a big loss here. Obviously, 1 buff, 2 buff has a lot of upside. It gives you heal cut, it gives you items, and it gives you the ability to dupe maybe like a 2-star 5 cost. Belt Overflow has a lot of upside as well. It's good frontline here, and New Recruit even has good upside in that, you know, you can fit a lot more units onto this board. Man of Thieves also I mean, so many strong potential options here, but I think the one that does just win in the tiebreak here is this one, right? Hold the line. It's just so good in these fast 9, especially if you do reach Shepherd style game plans here. And look at this. It is going to be the very fast 9, the 4-2-9, for a few reasons. One is we have these free rolls, so we'd love to use them on the most valuable level here. So we are going to push fast 9 on 4-2 here. So that's one reason. Two, we have hold the line, and so getting hold the line value, getting an extra unit in is really valuable. And three, I mean, there's a lot that we can do on 9 to spike our board here, and it's not that expensive. We still have 20 gold here to roll the rest with. We do pick up our cash from Tom Kench, and that's going to be enough to say we're going to get out of here. We get 3 Arbiter in randomly here, and I guess you can get some shielding onto your Arbiters. It's actually not bad. And here's what I thought was really cool is this 5 Conduit from Phoenix in this spot here. You almost never see this played, but 5 Conduit is actually a huge spike in this spot here. I'm actually going to pull up the numbers because I don't know if I played 5 Conduit this entire set here, which is just hilarious to say. Imagine we're going to take Shared Wealth here just because it's a similar amount of gold, but we don't have to pay the HP. But yeah, 5 Conduit is 9 mana gen for the Conduits. I mean, onto a unit like this Asol here who has no mana gen items, but a ton of damage. I mean, that amount of mana gen. You guys remember on set 15? When people would take it's over 9,000, which apparently, by the way, the way that's said in other languages is like it's over 8,000 or something like that. Somebody correct me, but it's not over 9,000 in like all the other languages for some reason. Anyway, remember people would take that and they would freak out when they got up to like 6 mana gen, 7 mana gen, and in this spot here we were getting 9 onto not only the Asol, but we're actually triple carrying really strong Conduits in this spot. We have the Asol, we have the Victor, and we have the Bard in this spot here, and even random frontliners, right? Like this Muerto Kaiser feels pretty good, but check this. It's actually not even a fast 9, it's a fast 10 here, and we're going to aggro roll down here on 10 on 4-6 with the idea that we want to, 1, spike our board here on 10, but 2, like, there's other people who are going to be looking for these units, right? So we want to spike as soon as possible. So yeah, we're just going to hit that level 10, get this board in, which is kind of a crazy board. 5 Conduit, 4 Vanguard here. It's like I said, a bit wild here, but it makes sense. We get the TG here, which is always fantastic in these fast 9 boards. It's just so good to reach a TG that you can throw onto somebody like the Bard or somebody like a random frontliner here. It just feels really good. And yeah, we're going to continue to roll down here because, I mean, why not? This is also RE value where we're getting extra stats onto our entire board. So this is our board for the immediate future, which is just crazy to me, but it makes a lot of sense. The Gargoyle going to come down here, really looking for frontline here, and we do finally pick it up here in the new here. So then we can move the Arbiter emblem over and, yep, throw the TG onto the Blitzcrank. This looks amazing here. Should probably get these other items moved over to the Bard soon, but for now this is totally fine. And Psionic's not even a bad item onto him. It's a little bit of stats there. And so this is our board, fast 10 here. Really, in terms of upgrades, the big thing that we can think about is kind of like downgrading out of some of these units on our board, dropping stuff like the Zoe. But honestly, the Zoe's not bad. She's double trait, she's Arbiter, and getting us up to 5 Conduit. So you don't feel horrible about this. Also, it's actually interesting. We're looking at maybe holding on to this remover because we know this is our last remover. If we move these 2 items over to Bard, it means we're not gonna be able to put an item from Carousel onto him. Almost wish we had just Psionic somebody else so that we did have the option of just triple iteming him after Carousel with hopefully like a damage item and then these util items. Do pick up Karma here, who tends to be one of these units that you play on these fast 9 boards. Once again, like the 5 Conduit board is not one that gets played too often. Usually you're getting out of this Asol eventually, getting out of Zoe eventually. Usually you're capping around like 2 Conduit, if anything, like Mordekaiser and Bard, and that's about it usually. But the Victor does make sense on this board for Psionic, especially with the Psionic emblem. Usually you are playing the Sona later, but we're not even playing that here. We'll see if we want to hold on to it because, yeah, I mean, there is a world where we play four Psionic on this board. I mean, that could actually be really nice here. Just find the Sona and then get that old Pike that we used to have on the board and then just play both of those. Makes a lot of sense here. Phoenix is actually thinking about cutting out of the 5 Conduit in this spot here to play the Sony here, but I don't know if I even buy it. It's so hard. It's so hard to think about that. We are just going to move the target lock over to the Victor in this spot. So really interesting prioritization from Phoenix in the spot, because he has this, because he does not have a double remover in the spot. He is going to keep triple item on Victor, and he actually ends up killing off DP here. To go back to DP's board, just so you can see what this guy was rocking, by the way, none of these situations where I feel like we get just hand-picked artifacts here, had double Zanyas here. So got a double Zanyas here, got a Seeker's Arm Guard for frontline, and got the Thresh's Lantern in the spot here. So I just feel like super hand-picked setup from DP. And by the way, found a 2-star Blitzcrank on level 8, which is just, sometimes it rains and sometimes it pours. That is not the phrase that people say, but you know what I'm going for there. DP had an amazingly high roll game. DP, I feel like the player who had the most like variance in game is like right at the end there. He had some like really high roll amazing games, and then some really low roll, just Mort Dog, like Curse of Mort Dog absolutely games, and sadly was not able to make it into tier 1. But I mean, shout out to DP. He put up an amazing fight, and you know, making it in from tier 2. This is his like first set in a while, actually, like locking in. So I mean, really good things to see for DP in the future. Sad that he is, you know, gonna have to slum it out in tier 2, but it's okay. Hopefully right, we'll improve the tier 2 system next set. Please. It's maybe a pipe dream, but I really hope we're gonna get some improvements to tier 2. If not next set, then the set after, because as somebody you know, who is you know, must play through tier 2, it's kind of a drag. This tier 2 set is not amazing, and that's why it's so exciting for all the people who get to make it into tier 1 here. We farm the Elder Dragon with Bard here, which is really nice as well. We are going to opt to put the Zoe back in on this board, saying I actually can't drop it a 5 Conduit. 5 Conduit is just too good on this board, so we're actually going to drop it of Rost. It's only a 5 trait Rost at this point, so it's not like completely swinging the game. It's still good, but not the end of the world here. And we do have a really close fight against Jukyu that we win here. I mean, we really wish we could push to level 11 in this spot, because there's so much more stuff that we want to fit, but we're going to hold the line on this board here. We are considering getting the Sona in here, and the second we find Sona 2, that does become the case here. The Sona mod is just way too valuable to pass up here. This is an extra full item on our board here, and we are going to finally swap everything around here, get the item onto Sona, and look at this. 9 backline items on backliners. The full damage items move over to Bard finally in this spot here, now that we're dropping out of 4 Conduit. I mean, Bard's still a good unit to itemize regardless, and we are going to lock in our top 2 with us and Jukyu in this spot. So one more fight here. The Elder Dragon just so valuable on this board as well here, just for an extra dumb amount of frontline. And look at the TG we rolled in potentially this last fight here. Target lock gonna sit here, and yep, we thought about moving it, it looked like, and then it was like, nah, actually the random item there is pretty good. So rotate into Jukyu again here. Blitz in the middle here, good ability to punch stuff into the back line. Our back line gets pretty CC'd here. The Acel doing a lot of work, the Bard doing a lot of work with the little flying saucer. It cannot kill enough, so we have to go to one more here. Really just don't want to get our backline CC'd by Nunu, but it's really awkward because we also do want to focus fire down important targets here. We could take a last damage item, and we should, because we have the double strike now. The problem is there's not great ones here, so we are going to be forced into taking Hand of Justice here, and this is going to sit onto Sona here, and he's trying to figure out who it goes on, because all these conduits don't really auto-attack that much, and so yeah, it's going to go onto the Sona here. See if we can win this fight here. Our front line gets blown up pretty quickly, but Bard gets a cast through and kills off the rest of Jukyu's board, and it is a dub for Phoenix. I just thought this was a crazy game. Really well played. That 5 conduit idea was so interesting, and it stabilized him for so hard that it allowed him to make fast 9 and allowed him to cap really hard and allowed him to win the game. So beautiful game from Phoenix, and also from Jukyu as well. Shout out to Jukyu for making it into tier 1 as well. This was a crazy day of games, and I cannot wait to see more next week in regionals. And then like the week after that, we have Worlds, by the way. We got regionals week 2, Worlds, and then during Worlds, they obviously announced set 18. So we got a crazy couple of weeks of TFT, and then set 18 PBE coming super fast. Obviously, we're going to be locking in super hard for that in all of my study groups, my Metafy group stuff. So if you're interested in any of that, check it out down below. And also, you know, if you want to lock in as the new set comes out, because this is the set that, you know, allows you to qualify for the Vegas Open in the end of the year, then definitely, you know, lock in with me. I am committing to lock in harder than I've ever locked in before in a TFT set, this set, because I was Not, I was disappointed with my performance this set. I did fine. You know, I made Challenger. I almost won one of the sub-regional tournaments. Did okay in the actual Tier 2 circuit, but not up to my own expectations. So I'm going to lock in super, super hard next set. I'm going to absolutely no life it next set. And, you know, for anybody who wants to do that with me, definitely, you know, coaching and all of these like little groups that I operate will be a great place to get my prep, but also I'll help you prep as well. So for all of that, not quite happening just yet, though. I am doing these group study sessions every week on Thursdays that we are covering fundamentals, so over the next couple of weeks. So if you guys are interested in getting a little bit of prep in before the next set comes out, just hit the ground running, then check out all of that in my Metafy down below. All right, I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching as always. Bye-bye.